I'm feeling really proud, actually really proud of I thought the club showed its strength today. I really did. I thought when I can communicate to the players just before kick-off that there's 4,000 fans coming to here, it's huge that, and I think that was an exhibition of fans showing that they thought their team were done wrong, but galvanising, and that's everything that I asked the players to do. Once we'd kind of got over the other night and Friday, it was important that we galvanised as a group, we used it as motivation, and I think you've seen that in our performance today. But more than that, the pride for me as manager of the football clubs comes from, that togetherness of the football club today, and I thought, as I say, we really showed our strength, and there was a real connection, a real chemistry between the fans. They knew that we needed them, they knew that they could help us, and they did that, and I thought the performance was good enough, because I think our performances since the split, we beat Hearts away from home, and I think the next 3 games, I think we do enough in all away games to take a minimum of 5 points, but things out with our control don't allow that to happen. But then that's down to us. Then it's down to us to show the mentality, to show the resilience, to bounce back and make sure we do it on our own. And that's where the satisfaction comes from, that we did that today as a group, as a football club.
The attitude was a big one, wasn't it? That was strong throughout.
Yeah. And I knew that, I can't speak highly enough of that group of players. There's been a lot of adversity this year, and one thing that's been really consistent, I know there's been inconsistency in terms of performances, but one thing that's been consistent is their reaction and their resilience towards any adversity that they faced. And I think you've seen that today. And I knew I was going to get that for the players. As soon as we got over the initial, processed it Wednesday, Thursday, once we got back in as a group on Friday, I could feel for them. There's strong characters in there, there's real leaders, real men, and I sensed that from them. But it obviously reinforces things, and it helps you when you see your support getting on board as well. And I just think that showed the strength of the football club today.
Lyle Cameron, for a farewell game, what an attitude.
Listen, anybody that asked me, anybody that questioned Lyle Cameron, I've been consistent with what I say about Lyle. Lyle, I've got a good relationship with all my players, but I've got a really, really special relationship with Lyle, and his character's never been in doubt, and I'm delighted for him, that he can leave with his head held high. Those last 3 games, he scored 4 goals and provided the assist for Scott Tiffany's goal that should have been enough. So Lyle's been a fantastic ambassador for this football club. Brilliant character. He'll go on to have a really successful career, but I think the club are indebted to him and thank him for his services, and I think he's seen that, and it was really fitting today that he scored the 2 goals that allowed us to achieve that objective.
How important was it for you on a personal level, Tony, to come through that? That's probably the most pressured period of your managerial career so far.
Yeah,
come through, that's massive for you.
I think so. I think, and every experienced manager that I speak to, last year was great. You get in the top 6, you get nominations for Manager of the Year, and that's all great. But this season's been tough. There's been reasons, but every experienced manager, as I said, that will tell you need to go through that and come through the other end of it. And yeah, you're right, it's been a challenging time, but there's loads of learning from it, a lot of learning from it, and I'll make sure as manager I take that into next year's campaign. I would like to thank the players, that are exiting this year, the loan players and the ones that are moving on out of contract, for their contribution to the football club. But I've got a core there of really good players, and I think it's important as a football club that we recruit well in the summer, learn lessons that we need to learn from this season. No doubt, I'm not shying away from that. I've always said that I'll never abdicate any responsibility, but I think we use it as motivation and as a learning tool to make sure that we come back next year and have an even stronger campaign. I think there's been a lot of highlights this campaign, the 2 derby wins, for example, getting to 2 quarterfinals. But, me, I think me, as a character, all it does is make me more driven, more motivated to next year's campaign, kick on and improve for that.
You don't want to be in this position again?
No, I didn't. As Dundee manager, I don't want to be in that position in the bottom 6. Top 6, great, yeah, fighting for those places. But there's been reasons for that, But I think when the dust settles, I think it's important that we say that to the players. I want to celebrate that today because they were under a hell of a lot of pressure, and a lot of stuff out with their control. But all I wanted them to do today as a group was take control of the situation, control, affect, and influence what you can. And I think they did that in abundance.
You mentioned the fans. Obviously, they showed their emotion at the end. What did you make of the
I thought it was brilliant. A real outpouring, because again, as I say, I think the fans recognised that their team had been done a wrong, and they showed in strength. They showed that mentality to make sure they galvanised as a fan group, as we did as a group of players. And I would say we've got disappointed we actually couldn't go out and see the fans at the end there. But there's a supporters player of the year tonight, so we'll get our opportunity to see the fans. But I'd like to put in record, and I'm saying that as Dundee manager, I didn't want to be in the bottom 6. I didn't. And I thought our bottom 6 campaign was good but a lot of things out with our control. But the biggest message I've got is to thank the support. I think they've been outstanding, and when we really needed them, they were there, and I think they showed the strength of Dundee Football Club, and couldn't be more proud as manager of not just the players but the support as well, that we showed our strength today.
A big season for Simon Murray this year, obviously no goals today, but how deserving do you think he is of an international player?
Hugely deserving of the recognition he's got as player of the year and of his Scotland. You seen him today, again it's hard even to take him off when you know he's run himself into the ground, but trust me, Simon Murray gives absolutely everything every day for this football club, and he's done that for years. And I've said it, you know, when I looked at Simon last year and I worked really hard to get him at the club, that was the reason why I knew Simon's getting better as a footballer. You know, he's developed as a player. People said to me last year he has to play in a 2 or he's not effective. He's played in different formations all season. He's managed to get the goal tally that he's done, but his work rate for the team and everything else that he does on a daily basis is, it's just good to see him getting recognised, and he fully merits every plaudit that he's getting at the moment.
There's a Scotland squad getting announced at the start of the week. Have you had any contact or any indication that
No.
you know, he's in contention?
Nothing as yet, but we'll wait and see. Again, as I say, you've seen him today. One thing about Simon Murray, he leaves everything on the pitch every single game, and that's a brilliant. I keep saying to the younger ones in the team, you know, we at the club, you know, that's us. Yesterday, the under 13s, under 16s won 2 trophies. We had the under 18s in a youth cup final this year. But I say to all of them to look at Simon Murray as a role model. That's what you want your professionals to be, your good professionals to be at the football club, amongst others. But because we're talking about Simon now, that's a real role model for the younger ones.
Brilliant.